My name is Anna. I'm 38. I'm a single mother with a son in elementary school and a 3-year-old daughter. My son is Kevin, and my daughter is Lucy. Right after I had Lucy in my mid-30s, I found out my ex-husband was cheating, and we divorced. My ex-husband, Ethan, was the same age as me, introduced by a coworker, and we started dating. We began dating in our mid-20s, and on our 3rd anniversary, he proposed, and we got married. Soon after, I got pregnant with Kevin, and those were days filled with bliss. Ethan's affair came to light right after Lucy was born. He had been cheating on me during my 2nd pregnancy. The other woman was a nurse. She worked at the hospital I went to, where we met during my checkups. Ethan wasn't known for being a ladies' man. Apparently, he was quite plain and never really attracted much attention since his student days. My friends were so concerned about his lack of a love life that they introduced him to me. Indeed, Ethan seemed shy at first meeting, with his unfashionable clothes and hair. I thought, there's no way he could be a ladies' man. But as we met more through friends, he became more talkative. He was plain and unfashionable, but kind, gentle, and calming. However, after getting married, I realized something. Being gentle sounded nice, but in a bad way, it meant he wouldn't take the initiative. He would do things if asked, but wouldn't act unless prompted. After Kevin was born, I ended up handling all the household and child care responsibilities. I'm not one to sit still, so staying home on maternity leave with Kevin was hard for me. I love my kids, and I enjoyed housework, but I realized I wasn't cut out to be a stay-at-home mom. So I put Kevin in daycare before he turned 1 and went back to work. Ethan said he would help out once I went back to work, but he wasn't of much help. He claimed he was too busy in the morning and had too much overtime for daycare drop-offs and pickups. Even though he rarely did overtime, he would eat his meals quickly and start watching TV as soon as he finished. Hey, can you feed Kevin?
Can I watch TV while doing it?
No, Kevin won't be able to concentrate on his meal then.
But I've been looking forward to this show.
You could record it.
Okay.
He would help if I asked, but I always thought, you should do it without being told. At one point, I realized I hadn't had a peaceful bath since Kevin was born. I'd like to take a long bath. Could you please help? I asked. Guess what he said?
But I wanted to do my daily quests. How long do I need to watch them? I guess it's okay if I just watch.
Could you put him to bed as well? That's fine, but it'll be past 11 p.m. It takes quite some time. I almost snapped at him, holding back my frustration. I don't even get time for a leisurely bath or to play games on my phone. He just goes to work, comes back, eats the meal I prepared, enjoys his hobbies, takes a bath whenever he wants, and gets a good night's sleep. Am I not even allowed an hour to enjoy a bath for a single day? But on his days off, he would take Kevin out and help around the house. I've always enjoyed housework, and despite the challenges, I felt fulfilled. Wanting to go back to work was my own wish, right? So I thought it was wrong to complain about Ethan not helping out. Looking back after the divorce, it's weird to even say help out. Ethan's a dad too, so taking care of the kids should be a given, right? But I used to think lightly. That's just how dads are. And I thought other families were the same. Surely every mom does everything. It's not just me struggling. So I was irritated with Ethan, but somehow endured and kept pushing through. When Kevin turned 5, I got pregnant with our 2nd child. I always wanted around 2 kids, so I was really happy. But here's where I dropped the ball. I didn't have morning sickness with Kevin. But as soon as I got pregnant with the 2nd, severe morning sickness hit me. I couldn't keep any food down the moment I ate. I even had to stop using Ethan's favorite air freshener because the scent made me nauseous. Whether I was up or lying down, I felt something rising from the pit of my stomach and had to rush to the bathroom. It was so bad, I even had to get 4 drips at the hospital. Dealing with morning sickness, raising Kevin, working, and doing household chores was impossible. Doesn't everyone say, I didn't realize parenting would be this hard or I underestimated pregnancy? That was exactly me. I thought that every day. Looking back, everything seems obvious now, but back then, my thinking was too naive. I eventually couldn't take it anymore and talked to Ethan. I'm struggling with severe morning sickness. I need you to help out with the chores on weekdays. And until this settles down, could you please bathe Kevin too?
You didn't have morning sickness with Kevin.
I didn't with Kevin, but that doesn't mean it can't happen now.
You're just letting your guard down because it's our second child, aren't you?
This isn't about letting my guard down.
I'm tired from work too. Let me take a bath in peace.
I understand that, but
You've managed until now. You can do it, right?
but even preparing meals is tough. I can manage Kevin's meals, but
See, you can do it.
can do doesn't just apply with willpower, you know. Can't you help a little?
Don't act like I'm doing nothing. I take him to the park on my days off. Just rest then.
That's only for like 30 minutes, right?
Anyway, I can't help any more than this.
No matter how much I asked, he just stuck to his refusal. That's when I realized, oh, I chose the wrong person to marry. Marrying Ethan and deciding to balance work and children was my decision. So I thought, it's all my fault. I have to push through. I wish I could tell my past self, it's not all on you. The morning sickness lasted about 6 months. My mom came to help out a few times, which was a lifesaver. She was busy with her part-time job too. She suggested I could come home to give birth, but I declined. Every day, I endured the nausea, dragged my tired body to work, and did the chores. Kevin, excited to be a big brother, helped out a lot. Kevin did regress a bit, which was tough, but I could tell he was trying hard to be a big brother. So thanks to Kevin and the baby in my belly, I managed to get through the morning sickness. Around that time, Ethan suddenly had to work overtime and go on business trips more often because someone at his company quit. He'd be gone for a week at a time on trips out of town. I thought, so this is what solo parenting feels like. But we stayed in touch daily through calls and texts, so I never suspected it was all a lie. It was a week before my due date.
I've got to go on a sudden business trip. I'll be gone for about 2 weeks.
Hey, the due date is really close, you know.
It's work.
Being away for 2 weeks is just not possible.
Maybe your mom can come help. She could take care of Kevin, right?
Can't the trip be assigned to someone else?
I asked, but it's not possible.
I quickly called my mom and explained the situation. She managed to take a month off from her part-time job to come help. That's why you should have come home to give birth. I'm sorry. Are you sure it's okay to take a month off from work? They told me to take as long as I need. I'll stay here until you're settled, so don't worry. Despite her grumbling, my mom took care of everything, from the household chores to Kevin. You've been doing all this alone. Yo, Ethan hardly helps out. That's why you're in such a bind when it really matters. Heck, get it together and train your husband properly. Yeah, I really regret it. You might be satisfied with yourself for managing everything, but if you're always busy, Kevin can't even rely on you, can he? True, I might not have been really listening to Kevin. It's good to work hard, but it's not a good environment for the kids. Wait until the second one is born. It'll get even busier. For the kids' sake, I need to change my approach. When Ethan gets back, we'll have to make sure he learns to do the chores. I'll retrain him. My mom is the epitome of a strong woman. She totally had my dad under her thumb. He quietly did the household chores without complaint. I reflected on how I'd taken on everything myself up to then. Most of all, I felt sorry for Kevin. I was grateful for the increased time with Kevin thanks to my mom. And then I was about to give birth. The day before my due date, I felt sluggish from the morning. Lying in the living room, I dozed off. Then my belly started to hurt gradually. I think this is labor, I thought, and called the hospital. I called my mom, who had taken Kevin to daycare, and headed to the hospital alone. Mom arrived quickly and was there for the birth. And then I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. It didn't take too long, and though my body was tired, my spirit was incredibly high. Looking at my newborn daughter, Lucy, my mom and I were basking in happiness. Then Dr. Love came in. She was the obstetrician we had for Kevin.
Anna, congratulations. Wow, such a beautiful girl. Is Kevin doing well?
Thanks to you, he's really excited about being a big brother.
That's great. And it's good your husband could make it for the birth.
Eh?
He said he managed to get away from work. He was running in a hurry just now.
No, my husband is on a business trip out of town. According to Dr. Love, she saw Ethan walking from the hospital parking lot when she arrived at work.
Isn't that Kevin's dad?
Oh, Dr. Love. Long time no see.
Your second child is about to be born, right? Congratulations. Oh, no, wait, she's already born.
Eh?
I just got a call from Dr. Emma, who's taking care of your wife.
Oh,
You wanted to be present for the birth, right? Good thing you made it.
Well, I'm actually in a hurry because of work, so I have to go, excuse me. And he reportedly ran off in a hurry. Apparently, he ran off pale as a ghost, maybe due to some trouble. I was confused, thinking maybe Dr. Love got it wrong. But we had a proper conversation, so it had to be Ethan, right? I forced a smile and went along with Dr. Love's story. Then Dr. Leo burst into the room.
Anna, your husband was just brought in by ambulance.
What?
He seems to have been in a traffic accident, but he's conscious.
That's not my husband.
Anna, please calm down.
He's supposed to be on a business trip.
It's okay, your husband just got some scrapes.
That's not what I'm talking about. Listen to me. The doctors thought I was panicking and making no sense. I was quickly wheeled off in a wheelchair to the emergency department. Just as Ethan came out of the treatment room, he saw me and staggered back. He was beyond pale. He was white as a sheet. Ethan started to hurriedly and clumsily explain the situation. He had run into a bicycle while rushing to the train station after leaving the hospital. Why are you even here?
Ethan, you're supposed to be on a business trip, right?
That is. Well, then a nurse ran up.
Ethan, are you okay?
Without noticing me hidden behind Ethan, she continued.
I told you to stay away from the hospital.
Wait, hold on.
It's because you wanted a thrill that you ended up in an accident, right?
Just be quiet for now.
Your wife's due date is close, right? What if you ran into her?
She's right here. The nurse gasped, finally noticing me standing behind Ethan.
This is...
Olivia, explain yourself.
Olivia, the nurse, apparently works in the emergency department. She's in her early 20s and is quite beautiful. At least, that's what I heard later. Among the nurses, she was known as the patient killer. It seems she was a habitual offender of hitting on patients, specializing in seducing married men. When I was pregnant with our daughter, Ethan and I went for a checkup. While I was undergoing tests, Ethan was wandering around the shop, and Olivia approached him.
Sorry, you were in the obstetrics waiting room earlier, right?
Yes. My wife is pregnant with our second.
It's so nice to have such a wonderful husband. I'm envious of your wife.
No, not at all. I get scolded by my wife all the time.
She scolds a kind husband who accompanies her to the hospital.
I do help with our son and stuff, but she's always on me to help more.
That's terrible. If you want, contact me. I'm always here to listen.
I never imagined Ethan was getting hit on at the shop while I was getting examined. She knew his wife was pregnant and still made a move. I thought she was an unbelievable woman. She had never gone after a husband whose wife was pregnant before and was curious what it was like. What about that? My feelings were wrecked by Olivia's mere curiosity. I do love you, Anna, and Kevin is cute, you know. But after coming home tired from work, I didn't want to do housework or take care of the kids. Whose kids do you think they are? They're mine and yours, so you have a duty to raise them too. I did help, didn't I? Taking them to the park for 30 minutes on your day off doesn't count as helping. And cheating on top of that is just the worst. I was just fooling around with Olivia. I was planning to break it off soon anyway, so a little fun should be okay, right?
Thanks to me being away, your mom could come and help out.
You know, I've had a moment of clarity.
What?
I realized I can manage just fine without you.
Huh?
Ethan, you've never done housework or childcare, and I've been doing it all by myself, you know.
You're not going to say divorce, are you?
Of course, I'm divorcing you. Life is better without you.
That's a bit harsh.
I'm going back to my parents' house to live with the kids. I'll send the divorce papers later. Make sure you pay the alimony and child support.
Wait, I don't want a divorce.
I thought about starting over as a family of 4 when you got back from your trip. But I can't deal with the cheating.
But if you go back home, won't it be a bother to your parents?
It's no bother. Come back home. We have room. It's fine.
What about work?
My boss said we're hiring full-time, so I'll ask for you.
Mill, please wait. I'll change, I promise. Please convince Anna.
How can I leave my daughter and grandchildren to a man who cheats?
Eek.
You said, I'll protect Anna. And now, look at this mess.
Ah.
Anna was wrong too for indulging you, Ethan, but you had issues from the start. I'll be sure to let your parents know as well.
Wait, that's a bit.
Anna, you know, you just gave birth a little while ago.
Oh, right. That's true. I forgot I just gave birth because I feel so energetic. Encouraged by the doctors, I went back to my hospital room. Ethan tried to follow, but my mom sent him away with a look that could kill. As I mentioned at the beginning, Ethan was never the type to attract much attention. So when a young and beautiful nurse approached him, he got carried away. Ethan lied about being on a business trip and spent time at Olivia's house, enjoying the thrill of being seen in her car parked at the hospital parking lot, among other things. And on the day of the birth, their affair was recorded by the dash cam. Not just that, for months they had been going on drive dates in Olivia's car, even having her pick him up from work. I asked my mom to retrieve the SD card from the dash cam. With that evidence, I hired a lawyer and filed for damages. Then, threatening him with court, I made Ethan sign the divorce papers, and the divorce was finalized. Never thought I'd be getting divorced right after giving birth. The affair was the catalyst, but the stress built up from Ethan's lies about his business trips also contributed to a sufficient reason for divorce. Ethan's parents came over as soon as they heard from my mom. They were appalled to learn their son neglected household and child care duties, indulging in a fling with a younger woman. They apologized profusely, with my mother-in-law in tears. I felt sorry for them, knowing it wasn't their fault. Ethan had apparently applied for paternity leave at work. He lied not just to me, but to his company as well. He planned to take half a year off, intending to stay at Olivia's house the whole time. He planned to use trouble at the business trip as an excuse not to come home, so I heard. When I started having contractions, my mom tried calling Ethan's phone, but it was turned off, and everything came to light after contacting his company. Ethan's credibility plummeted after the divorce and affair became known. It led him to quitting his job. Already an unremarkable man, losing his credibility left him a shell of his former self. If only he had fulfilled his responsibilities instead of having an affair. Ethan's parents found him a job, and he's been paying child support diligently. He occasionally visits the kids, looking worn out, his nails in terrible condition. A contact of his parents, owning a construction company, hired him, making him work from dawn till dusk. It's a tough world for Ethan, who had lived a more sedentary life. He comes home exhausted every day, struggling to eat during summer.
I'm not cut out for this job.
Then you shouldn't have quit your previous job.
I'm working hard for Kevin and Lucy, sweating it out.
So,
I've reflected on my actions. I won't betray you again, Anna.
ha,
So, can we start over?
that's impossible. You'll just end up dumping everything on me again.
No, I've changed.
Do you think I can trust you? Just leave the money and go.
What about Kevin and Lucy?
Oh, their grandparents took them to the amusement park. I told Kevin Dad's coming today, but he said, I'd rather play with Grandpa and Grandma. Tough luck, Dad.
That's
As for Olivia, it seems the wives of former patients sued her for damages after hearing rumors at the hospital. Apparently, she also had issues with a stalker after getting involved with a single patient. I heard she resigned to escape the stalker, but nobody knows where she is now. I moved back home with the kids, becoming a full-time employee at my mom's workplace. It's been years, but I still regret thinking I messed up teaching my husband. If we had properly talked and shared household and childcare duties, maybe things wouldn't have turned out this way. Actually, my daughter, she really takes after me and my mom. Someday, when she grows up and gets married, I'll have to make sure she knows to have proper discussions with her husband.